Clemson linebacker Dorian O'Daniel was charging forward to cover the running back out of the backfield on what seemed like Louisville's 28th second and long of the evening. It made sense, as quick passes to the perimeter were all the Tigers had allowed defending Heisman winner Lamar Jackson to complete. He was 11 for 23 passing at this point early in the third quarter, 9 for 12 on passes that were quick and to the sideline and 2 for 11 on anything else. With O'Daniel properly baited, Jackson attempted to use his momentum against him, throwing behind he would be to Reggie Bonifon downfield. O'Daniel stopped on a dime, lurched back into the passing lane, made a spinning interception, Jackson's first in 134 throws, then changed directions once more and took it 44 yards for a touchdown and a 26-7 Clemson lead. As Jackson was walking off the field, he appeared to give an exasperated what? He was probably talking to a coach just off camera, sure, but you could forgive him if he was briefly falling into his own internal monologue. What? Is Clemson better than it was last year? Clemson wrecked my plans last night, just as it was wrecking Louisville's. As Mississippi State began to systematically break down and destroy LSU, I had decided the Bulldogs would get Sunday's Team of the Week treatment. It was a display of dominance Stan Mullen's team had perhaps never shown during his increasingly successful tenure in Starkville. Then Clemson went and left me with no choice. The benchmarks are impossible to ignore. Last year, on the way to the national title, the Tigers held Auburn to 13 points and 262 yards and sacked their revolving door of quarterbacks 4 times in a 6-point win. They allowed Louisville 36 points and 568 yards in a Death Valley thriller. This year Auburn scored just 6 points, gained 117 yards, and took 11 sacks in an 8-point Clemson win. Louisville gained only 433 yards and scored 21 points. But that doesn't tell the story. The Cardinals gained just 185 of those yards and scored just 7 of those points in the game's first 43 minutes, which included 7 punts and the pick six, as Clemson built a 33-7 lead. The Cardinals made things respectable in the late going, but only because Clemson allowed them to. Oh yeah, and Clemson gained 613 yards on Louisville, 106 more than last year. Clemson was always going to be good this year. Of course. You know who the Tigers lost from last year's breakthrough title: quarterback Deshaun Watson, the number 12 pick in the NFL draft, running back Wayne Gallman, number 140, receivers Mike Williams, number 7, and Artavis Scott, tight end Jordan Leggett, number 150, center Jay Guillermo, defensive tackles Carlos Watkins, number 142, and Scott Pagano, linebacker Ben Ballaware, safety Jadar Johnson, and cornerback Corderia Tankersley, number 97, but they still returned plenty of talent from head coach Dabo Swinney's recruiting machine. They still had monsters for defensive coordinator Brent Venables to deploy. They still had speedsters for offensive co-coordinators Tony Elliott and Jeff Scott to break in. But come on. There's supposed to be a breaking in period. Quarterback Kelly Bryant, 22 for 32 for 316 yards on Saturday night, had thrown 18 career passes before taking over from Watson. Running back Tavian Feaster, 10 carries for 92 yards, had 37 career carries, all in 2016 blowouts. Running back Travis Etienne, 6 carries for 98 yards, including an 81-yard explosion late in the game, was lining up in the Jennings High School backfield against Church Point High this time last year. Defensive end Austin Bryant, 4 TFLs versus Auburn, had just 4 TFLs all of last year. Safety Isaiah Simmons, 6 solo tackles and 2 assists versus Louisville, was a Kansas lean in recruiting until he picked up a late offer from Swinney and signed. He redshirted last year. The Stars are playing like stars. Defensive tackles Dexter Lawrence and Christian Wilkins are removable. O'Daniel and Kendall Joseph have raised their already high game at linebacker. The receiver trio of Rary McLeod, Hunter Renfrow, and Deion Kane made a ton of tough catches against Auburn, and McLeod's 79-yard catch in Louisville was a dagger. But the new pieces have fit right in, and after playing things conservatively against Auburn, the staff loosened the reins on Bryant a bit, and it paid off. He takes a lot of hits, He had 14 carries and got sacked 4 times on Saturday, but he has led the Tigers to wins over top 15 teams in 2 of his first 3 starts. That Clemson is 3-0 isn't a total surprise. This is the preseason number 5 team that we're talking about here. But 5 suddenly feels like an understatement. This team is a wrecking ball. Mullen lost the best quarterback in school history, Dak Prescott, and it took him basically 1 reset year to put maybe his best team yet on the field. That the Bulldogs beat LSU at home wasn't a massive surprise, that they dominated LSU was a stunner. This day,